Hey, so this is a video about using the Cropodile, which is the main tool in the second part of the engineering kit, the builder's kit. So here it is. That's some Tyvek. It has the little instructions, don't destroy those. So there it is. It's a very powerful but very simple tool. It's spring-loaded, and you can close it, lock it, so it takes up less room, and then unlock it. It has in the jaws, it has two different movable jaws. This one is the bottom, it's called the anvil. You want it on the silver one. And this is the top, this is the center punch. You also want this on the silver one, which is the thicker of the two. And once they're in position, it's ready for using with 3/16 of an inch eyelets. So this can punch through a bunch of different things. It can punch two different size holes. It has one punch, which is the larger punch. That's 3/16 of an inch. And then there's smaller punch, which is 1/8 of an inch. There's just a comparison of the two. We use the 3/16 inch hole for the eyelets. I like to mark the 3/16 side punch with a little dot or tape or something, because that's the one we use a lot. And although it does say it on the little black depth gauges that are on there, it's a little hard to read. So it punches through a lot of different things. Punch through wood, cardboard, it can punch through thin cardboard, it can punch through the paper straws or plastic straws. It's good if you flatten them first. It can even punch through cloth, and you can set an eyelet right through an old t-shirt, for example. If you take two of these, you can punch a hole in both, and this is how you join them. So the Cropodile is both kind of a drill and a nail gun. So you take your eyelets. These tend to spill everywhere when you open them, so just be careful. There's eyelets and washers. Most of the time we won't use the washer, we'll just use the eyelet, and so it looks like kind of a little tube with a flared head. You'll put it through one of the holes, and then you will line up the second hole with the longer part and push it through there as well. And then you'll get the Cropodile tool, and this is where you're going to use the pliers part, the punch. So the wide flared out part is where you put the cylinder part, and then the bottom goes up against the anvil, which is kind of that just a bump. You squeeze hard, and it bends the metal into place, and now you have a hinge, a pivoting joint. If you put two of these in or use some bracing, then it won't be a hinge, it will be a sturdy joint. If you're going through thin material, sometimes it rips out really easily. So if you're just going through a card, you want to put one of those little washers on the back side, which is the more tube-shaped side, and you squeeze it together and it binds that. So it kind of, yeah, it's good for using with thinner materials, and it holds it in place. It also comes with a bunch of these plastic nuts and bolts and standoffs. Little tubes are called standoffs. These fit perfectly through one of the 3/16 eyelets, and they're good for making a pivoting joint or something that you can loosen and tighten. Yeah, I spilled all over the place. There's a lot of small parts. Good to put them in a Ziploc bag. I learned that the hard way. The other amazing thing about these, although I didn't show it in the video, is, yeah, you can screw it on, and then you can put a standoff on there. The purpose of a standoff is to just give you some distance between one thing that's screwed on and another thing that's screwed on, so they don't have to be right up against each other. Sometimes that's useful in a design. Sometimes you have to push kind of hard. You can also cut down the length of these using the canary cutter that's in your kit, and miraculously it doesn't mess up the threads of the screws. You can put all different things together. You could also use the brass brads, which are paper fasteners, for sort of a looser connection. And there you go. That's it. It's the end, but it's just the beginning of creating.